and welcome to Pharmacy Business Podcast hosted by Sean Roberts. Pharmacy Business Podcast is created to help community pharmacies discover and learn ways to run a more profitable and efficient pharmacy.
Here's our host, Sean Roberts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Today, we have a wonderful program, so stay tuned for our podcast starting now. Hello, and welcome to the Pharmacist Business Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Roberts. In today's episode, we'll be discussing drug diversion and ways you can use data to prevent and eliminate drug diversion and ensure patient safety, prevent regulatory violations, and promote responsible use of controlled substances. So let's get started. Drug diversion is a serious problem that can have significant consequences for public health and safety. One strategy that healthcare organizations can use to prevent drug diversion is to utilize data to manage their controlled drug inventory. Here are some steps that healthcare organizations can take to utilize data to manage their controlled drug inventory. First, establish a comprehensive inventory management system by developing a system that tracks the inventory of controlled substances from procurement to dispensing. This can include setting up an electronic inventory management system that tracks inventory levels, purchases, and all dispensing activities. Second, monitor inventory levels. By monitoring inventory levels regularly, you can identify any discrepancies or any unusual patterns that could indicate drug diversion. This can include comparing actual inventory levels with recorded levels and reviewing any discrepancies immediately to identify the discrepancy. Another way is by tracking dispensing activities. Monitoring dispensing activities to identify any patterns of dispensing that could indicate drug diversion. This can include tracking dispensing activities by individual healthcare providers, reviewing prescription patterns, and monitoring patients who receive high volumes of controlled substances. Analyzing data to identify trends. By analyzing inventory and dispensing data regularly is the best way to identify any trends that could indicate drug diversion. This can include tracking the frequency and volume of dispensing activities, comparing inventory levels with usage rates, and reviewing any unusual patterns in prescription orders. Finally, implementing corrective actions. Implementing corrective actions when unusual patterns or discrepancies are identified can include conducting audits, investigating potential drug diversion, and taking appropriate disciplinary action when necessary. All corrective actions should be documented, and the record should be retained for at least 3 years. Drug diversion is a serious problem that can have significant implications for community pharmacies. When controlled substances are diverted, it can lead to medication errors, patient harm, regulatory violations, and legal consequences. The Drug Enforcement Administration plays a critical role in regulating controlled substances and enforcing compliance with federal and state regulations. This can include requirements for record-keeping, reporting, and disposal of controlled substances, as well as requirements for security measures and staff education and training. Failure to comply with these regulations can result in penalties, fines, and even revocation of pharmacy licenses. By taking a proactive approach to drug diversion prevention and staying up to date on regulatory requirements, community pharmacies can help protect patients and ensure compliance with federal and state regulations. Community pharmacies can take several steps to reduce drug diversion in their settings. First, they can establish clear policies and procedures for handling controlled substances, including security measures and inventory management systems. Regular inventory checks can help identify any discrepancies or unusual patterns in dispensing activities, which can be investigated promptly. Pharmacies can also implement staff education and training programs to raise awareness of drug diversion and promote compliance with federal and state regulations. If you are interested in learning more, Be sure to tune in to our future podcast or schedule a call with our experts regarding regulatory compliance. Thank you for listening.
If you want to be a host on our podcast, send an email to info@rxconnection.com. And make sure to share the show on your favorite playlist directory. Thanks for listening.